So with the attack on Russia, was it justifiable to cut one of the ears off and let the guy eat it and sell that blade covered with blood on eBay or the dark web? Was it justifiable? Well, of course, hurting another human being or finding satisfaction in hurting another human being shouldn't be satisfiable. It's wrong, but you gotta understand it from a psychological perspective. If your home country is under attack and even your loved ones might be a casualty towards terror, of course, you want some payback, you want some revenge, and this is also part of human nature. Is it right? No. But does it happen? Yes. And is there a reason for why it happens? Of course there is a reason to it, but is it justifiable? Of course not. But things happen in the heat of the moment. It's not going to be the first, not going to be the last. So what I want to talk about today mainly is not only the ear cutting and eating of it, it's mainly the attack on Russia by Islamist terrorists, okay, and their background. So basically they were just young men, what nobody knows anything about besides their jobs and their age apparently, and all of them, were heavily armed to the teeth, and they did what they had to do. They just wanted to cause as much casualties as they could. So this was going in without actually coming out alive. That was the intent, right? It was like a suicidal mission. So what I want to get into basically is that these guys, okay, first of all, I'm very glad to hear that Putin is being very honest and open about the fact that he admits that these guys were sent by places like the UK or America. So these corrupt places, these corrupt countries and nations are behind sending those type of troops. It's a very sly move, but it has been happening like in World War II or during World War I. These things have been happening. Young men where nobody knows who or what they are, performing terror, doing a terror attack in name of whatever. But at the background, these people, these countries are organizing these attacks, planning these attacks. Let me tell you this. Remember the London attacks, right? These things were also organized. The guy that, ran over people in France, for example, as well, with a truck, the guy with the blade that starts slicing up people in the UK. These things from the past, these things are being organized. These are pre-planned, premeditated by these institutes, organizations, and these countries. It is a tactical maneuver to backstab the country or the person in question, to hurt the person in question by attacking his people, his prized possession, by performing these type of acts. Now you gotta know that these guys or they're either pressured in doing so by, for example, their family are being kidnapped or held for ransom, or they're being forced to do so. They have no other option because they're just nobodies, or they're bribed with money. With if you can succeed and you make it alive, you get a new identity, you get a lot of money, and you can just disappear completely, be a ghost, right? So these two options are realistic. These two things are realistic, and I'm pretty sure that either of these scenarios were the case for these men, because no one knows who they are. They're no top-ranking soldiers. They're nothing. They're just trash. They're just pawns in a big game of chess. And the thing is, we're all caught up in the middle, right? Actual normal people are true casualties of this so-called war. This war is actually just beef between political strongholds, leaders, for whatever reason they have. There is a reason why they hate each other. There's a reason why they fight with each other, because of control, a loss of control, power, wanting more power, more territory. And they will hit where it hurts by sending their little pawns to be sacrificed. And it's the same with armies. It's the same with battles. It's always the same old stories. Fighting the war for evil people just because that they can get what they want while everybody else just dies. Nobody wins. Nobody wins from the public. It's only these type of people that find satisfaction in sacrificing their worthless pawns, being us human beings. Okay, that's how they perceive us. That's how they look at us. But the thing is that those guys were just nobody. Okay, they were just sacrificed for making a statement. It's just to create a statement. But these people are planned, because these countries that send these IS troops, soldiers, terrorists, these are the same countries that support the further spread of their doctrine, of their ideology throughout their own country, amongst their own people. So that shows that these are the first one in line to use it as a weapon, to weaponize it against other nations that they despise or have a disagreement with. So yeah, that's basically it.